Good morning to Miss Rayana Akila and all my fellow friends. Today, our group will present to you guys about our assignment task, that is reflective practice subjects, and the chosen topic that we chose is bullying in school. Now, I would like to introduce to you guys our member. The first one is me, Lena Sagina Sintan, Nur Alia Edina binti Muhammad Nizam, Kalodia Rawa, anak Jemat, Dima anak Jimmy, and the last one is Evelyn anak Nyadang. We will present to you guys about our topics. Now, for the introduction of the bullying in the school, bullying is defined as violent conduct with a perceived or actual power discrimination among school-aged teenagers. This behavior happens repeatedly over time or has the ability to do so. Bullying victims and bullies themselves may experience several long-time issues. This can be proved when the weaker students had to face the stronger students when they asked to do something that they don't want to do. So if they don't want to do that, the strongest students will bully the weaker students because they feel that they are at the high ranks at the schools. So bullying always or high risk happen at the schools especially. So this behavior always shown up or repeatedly over time, so it can be happens all the time between the weaker students and the stronger students. Now I will share to you guys about my personal perspectives about bullying in school. So based on the video that I watched from YouTube that comes from UNESCO 2022, it says bullying in school is a serious issue affecting 1 in 3 students worldwide. This animation follows the stories of 3 young victims of bullying across the world, revealing the negative consequences of bullying on educational outcomes, health, and well-being. It also highlights practical actions all people can take to help stop bullying in school. So after watching the video, my first thought after watching the Together Against School Bullying, that short video, this video was on the emotional damage that bullying takes on students. The problem became more urgent and personal as a result of the video's straightforward yet impactful animations, which are successfully captured by suffering that victims usually experience. So based on the video, I can see that even if it's just an animation, it shows that when the victims usually face the bullying all his entire life when he at school, when them at school also. So my prior belief become enhanced that bullying may take various kinds, including verbal, physical, and digital, that each can be just as harmful, even though it didn't necessarily argue with my prior views. It highlighted how parents, teachers, and students all have a shared responsibility to identify and stop bullying at school. So to be honest, this short video led to a great deal of hope from me, since it not only brought attention to the terrible problem of bullying in schools, but it also made it clear that when people unite together, change is possible. This message was promoting the communities, teachers and students will stand together to stop bullying at school. So the idea no one needs to suffer in silence, and that even minor acts like being kind or revealing bullying issues in the school. After that, the connection to my personal experience. Yes, of course, I had experienced it firsthand with bullying. Then this video's message gained a deeper meaning for me. For example, like those characters who are always getting bullied, and I was felt that before. While watching this short video, it brought back those feelings. It also made me realize that how important it was when someone at last stood up for me. So for the possible solution of the improvement that we can take based on the videos, I can see that communities or the individuals or the people around us can spreading awareness and educating parents, teachers and students is an essential strategy in reducing bullying. So these programs can promote empathy, communication and conflicts resolution can be used in school as campaign against bullying. The negativity associated with speaking up can be minimized by promoting open discussion in the classroom and offering safe environment for students to share the experience. So that's all from my perspective. Thank you.
I would like to present my perspective about bullying in school. Based on the article from the Star 2024, the Star published a news article titled Bully Case on the Rise in Malaysian School in March 2024. The article reports a concerning 13% increase in bully cases over the past 2 years, highlight the different forms of bully physical, emotional, and cyber. It featured interviews with students, parents, and school counselors, shedding light on the deep psychological impact of bullying and the challenges schools face in addressing it. Initial reaction. After reading the article, my immediate reaction was one of deep sadness and growing concern. I had always been aware that bullying exists in schools, but I did not realize just how widespread and severe the issue has become, especially with the alarm rise in cyberbullying. This article opened my eyes and challenged my earlier belief that current school anti-bully campaigns were sufficient. I had assumed that with all the policies and awareness programs in place, school had things under control, but the statistics and testimony paint a very different and troubling picture. Next is emotional impact. Reading the article stirred up a mix of emotions in me. I feel deep empathy and sorrow for the victim who had endured such pain and humiliation. Their story made me realize how lonely and helpless a bullied student can feel, especially when their cries for help are ignored or dismissed. I also felt a rising sense of anger and frustration, not only towards the bully themselves but also toward the system that are supposed to protect students but often fall short. Despite this negative emotion, the article also sparked a glimmer of hope, seeing that some schools and communities are starting to take a strong action and innovate new approaches to combat bullying. Connection to personal experience. While I have not personally experienced severe bullying, I have witnessed it happening to my classmates. One incident that stands out involved a friend who was constantly teased and mocked about her appearance and background. Over time, I noticed her becoming quiet and more withdrawn, avoiding group activities and even skipping class. This had noticeable impact on her academic performance and overall well-being. I believe this issue is extremely important not just because of its immediate impact, but because the effect of bullying can lead well into shaping a person's confidence. Addressing bullying is essential for creating a healthy, inclusive, and nurturing school environment where every student feels valued and respected. Lastly is possible solution or improvement. Based on the article and my reflection, I think schools need to adopt a more holistic and proactive approach to tackling bullying. Firstly, anti-bully campaigns should not be limited to one-off talks or annual events. Instead, they should be integrated into the school culture through regular workshop and classroom discussion that promote empathy, respect, and inclusion. Lastly, involving parents through regular communication and workshop can help reinforce positive behavior both at school and at home. I believe these suggestions are practical and could make a significant impact if consistently applied. Over time, they can transform school into space where students feel not just physically safe, but also emotional support and empowered to speak out against bullying. That's all from me.
A video documentary titled is The Silent Struggle. It is about school bullying in Malaysia by BFM News YouTube in 2003, which explores real-life stories of Malaysian students who have been victims of various forms of bullying. The documentary includes interviews with students, parents, teachers, and also psychologists that also offering insight into a cause and consequence of bullying and the lack of consistent school response. I will give an initial reaction. My initial reaction after watching the video was a deep sense of shock and discomfort. I've always known bullying exists, but this documentary opened my eyes to how silent and unnoticed it can be, especially emotional and psychological bullying. One story that stuck me was about a boy who was constantly mocked and included by classmates. Yet teachers failed to notice because there were no visible signs of abuse. Next, I will go to emotional impact. The video evoked strong emotion in me. That is mainly sadness and helplessness for me. Hearing students describe how they would cry themselves to sleep, feel worthless, or even contemplate self-harm was heart-wrenching. It felt incredibly empathic toward them, especially knowing that many suffer in silence without proper support. Next is connection to personal experience. Although I haven't been a direct victim of bullying, I can relate to the feeling of being included in group settings. In primary school, I remember times when I was left out games of group projects for no reason. While it wasn't extreme, I still remember how lonely and embarrassed I felt. Watching the documentary made me reflect on how those small acts of exclusion can build up and really after that affect a person's confidence and self-worth. And the last is for possible solution or improvement. In this documentary highlight the need for schools to take bullying seriously and not treat it as a minor issue.
Based on the video titled Jack's Story, Bullying by BB Teach, Jack's Story is a short animated video by BB Teach that tells the real-life experience of a boy named Jack who was bullied at school for being different. The video shows how the bullying made him feel scared, lonely, and ashamed. Jack explained how he didn't tell anyone at first because he was afraid no one will understand. The first point is emotional reactions. The video tells the story of Jack, a boy who was bullied for being different, and it opened my eyes how serious and painful bullying really is. When I first watched the video, I felt sad and a little shocked. I always thought bullying was mostly physical or abuse like name-calling or pushing someone, but Jack's story was very different. The bullying he went through was always loud or violent, but it made him feel completely alone. He talked about how he started to feel like he didn't belong, and that really hit me. It made me realize that bullying can affect a person's mental health and change the way they see themselves. Next point is emotional impact. Emotionally, the video made a big impact on me. I feel a mixed sadness, anger, and guilt. Sadness because of Jack had to suffer in silence for so long. Anger because the people around him, especially students and even adults, didn't step in soon enough to help. And guilt because there have been times when I have seen people being teased or left out and I didn't do anything. I didn't mean to ignore it, but sometimes I just didn't know what to say. It reminded me to pay more attention and to be brave enough to help when someone needs it. The other point is connections to personal experience. I have never bullied the way Jake was, but his story reminds me of a time in the middle school when a classmate of mine was picked on for being shy and not talking much. People would laugh when he spoke or copy his voice. I didn't join in, but it also didn't do much to stop it. Looking back now, I wish I had something or support him more. Jake's story made me think about how silence can sometimes be just as harmful as bullying itself. It's easy to stay quiet, but standing up for others, even in small way, can change someone's life. The last one is possible solution or improvement. The video also made me think about what we can do to stop bullying. I believe schools should create a more space where students feel safe to share their feelings. There should be regular talk or workshop about bullying, where some students can learn how to support one another and how to speak up when they see something wrong. Teacher and parents also take very report of bullying seriously and act quickly, not just brush it off as kid being kid. More than anything, we need to teach kindness from a young age. If kids grow up learning how to respect others, even if they are different, bullying won't have as much space to grow. Jake's story is powerful because it's real. It shows what happens when bullying is ignored and how it can slowly break someone down. But it also gives hope. Jake eventually found support and began to heal. The part that gives me hope that people can recover and that we can all have make our school and community safe for everyone. His story taught me that even if we haven't been bullied ourselves, we all have a role to play in stopping it. Thank you.
After I read the newspaper, it's about violence in school, a silent crisis that requires immediate action. I feel deeply concerned about the rising issue of bullying. The article highlights that the rising issue is about 1 in 4 high school students are involved in violence. My emotional impact when I reading this article is make me feel empathize and sad, especially reading about students who feel isolated and scared of being bullied. It makes my heartbreaking that many suffer in silence despite anti-bullying campaign. I hope the Ministry of Education will take strict action to protect the students. My connection to personal experience is I never been badly bullied. I seen other experience is both in person and online. I remember a classmate in primary school who was often excluded, and back then I didn't know how to help. This article remind me how student bullying is so bad. It can damage emotion, confidence, and studies. Okay, the possible solution or improvement. I suggest useful steps like peer support, do reporting, and promoting respect. I believe schools should also run student-led activity like role play, storytelling, and mentoring. Involving students in creating anti-bully policies can also make effort more effective and impactful.
So now for the group reflection, I will volunteer for my group members and I will explain to you guys about all the aspects that we think together. So the common themes of this topic says there was an overwhelming feelings of empathy and concerns among us, whether as a victims or even the possible who had accidentally contributed to the issues, felt the same pain, frustration, and helplessness. So our understanding of bullying is a systematic problem that demands constant attention. Open our communications to address enhanced by these shared observations. Our group is now more united in its conviction that the best way to make school safer and more encouraging for all is to promote empathy, respect, and diversity. So for the broader impact, we think this effect of bullying in schools spread behind the people who are the targets. Bullying can cause worry and anxiety to all the people who had to face it, particularly in the victims feels unable to stop it. Bullying can contribute to a culture of silence and division, where students become less willing to trust one another or seek help. In terms of psychology, it can foster a climate of fear and a poor self-worth that impacts emotionally and cognitive growth. Bullying conduct can be normalized or even encouraged by cultural norm and demands for behavior and achieve authority. So after the discussion, we think the best solution or the recommendation as a group, together we think that preventing bullying in school as for inclusive approach includes support from the government, communities, and individuals. So there are 4 aspects that we discussed together, which is in our group solution, we think that we can organize an anti-bully programs. For example, regular talks or educational campaign like this can teach the youngsters or the parents, teachers, and all the communities about the empathy, respect, and the negative impacts of bullying should be held in schools. So, for the individual's perspective, we think that we can be active supporters, such as when people notice bullying happening, they should speak up or get help rather than remaining silent. So this can be proved when we see ourselves or our friends or another communities getting bullied. We should help them, or we should help them and prevent the bully action when it happens. After that, for the government perspective, we think that government should become more stronger legislation. Government should make sure that there is explicit anti-bullying legislation in place and that they are strictly followed in education institutions, which means government should put more strictly or should punish when the people should punish the people who those involved in bullying at school or outside there, and punish them by the law. So for the older communities, we think that parents should get involved in everything, especially when their kids wants to share something with them. Parents must to be informed about the warning signs of bullying and motivated their kids to have the open conversations with their kids, especially when their kids always keep silence. Parents should be aware about that. So the reflection on the change, my understanding of the problem of bullying in school has significantly improved after listening to the perspective of my group's members. So after we discuss about these issues, I think it comes from our emotional experience, while other discussers discussed the fact that bullying often remains unreported, but these thoughts made me realize that bullying can go undetected and can be concealed by quiet. Additionally, it becomes evident that the problem is linked to more significant social and emotional elements, including insecurities and a lack of support connections. So that's all for our group perspective. Thank you. To conclude our presentation today, bullying in schools is a severe problem that impacts the entire school community, such as the students, the teachers, or the communities at the schools. In addition to the individuals who are directly impacted, it may occur a variety of ways, including online, social, and physicals. Students, teachers, parents, and the governments must work together to solve these issues. They can collaborate to create school surroundings where everyone feels respected and protected at the schools by supporting for the creation of a safe spaces. The first step in stop bullying is for each of us to decide to speak up and stand up for one another. That's all from our team presentation today. Thank you.